Okay, go.
My name is Alan Legier. I'm 62 years old, and currently at 2911 Church, I serve in the men's ministry department as well as over hospitality, the usher ministry as well.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been here 11 years.
11
doing
years.
that.
Okay. So my first question is, what would you say are some of your greatest strengths as a leader, and how do they enable you to lead effectively in ministry? So.
I would say for me personally, probably is my commitment to what I decide that I'm involved with, and just being faithful, just showing up.
Yeah.
And I've learned a long time ago that if you just show up and do what you're told, you go a long ways. And versus being inconsistent and sporadic in what you do.
Definitely.
But just staying with it.
Yeah, definitely. Commitment. All right, number 2. What is one of the greatest challenges you've faced as a leader, and how did you work through that?
I think motivating other people is especially in relation to church things. People are busy with their own families and their own personal lives, and then you're asking them to show up special to do certain things. And so I think part of it is you setting the example, but then figuring out how to motivate people.
Yeah.
And so the way I motivate people is indeed by being the example and setting the example. That I show up prepared to do what I need to do, have a plan so that we're not wasting time or wasting people's time.
Definitely.
And so that's kind of been the biggest challenge and kind of my response to that.
All right, awesome. All right, is there anything that you would change about your past leadership experiences due to knowledge and wisdom gained after the fact? So anything that you look back now and you think, I probably would have changed that had I known what I know now?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, the older you get, you learn a lot of things. I think for me, one of the things I did learn is not to be so anxious over things that I had no influence, no sphere of influence over.
Right.
And sweating over somebody else not doing their job or not being what they should be when I couldn't control that.
Right.
And so what I learned is that don't sweat those things. You
Yeah.
can only be concerned about what you have control over.
Absolutely.
And what you have influence over.
Absolutely. Okay, and what are some tips that you would give a college student like myself concerning leadership and what to expect in leadership?
I would say prepare yourself, gain all the knowledge you can get, and don't be afraid to fail.
Okay.
Failure is the next step to success.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people sell themselves short, but they feel that because they see the big picture, they don't look at the little steps to get there, and then just don't even try.
Mm-hmm.
And we sell ourselves short when you don't give yourself a chance to at least succeed. And they know that you're going to fail. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
And you get up and you try again, and you keep trying, and you will succeed eventually.
Yeah.
It's just not quitting.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Okay, so we have a couple minutes left, so I'll ask you a couple more. Is there someone from the Bible, a man or a woman, that you really value their leadership, and what about their leadership have you valued in Scripture?
Oh man, there's so many good people to choose from. I guess Paul would be someone who I really value a great deal. I guess again because of the commitment you see in Paul's life and all the terrible things that happened to him, and he just never did stop.
Right.
But he also learned a valuable lesson in the sense that he learned that he wasn't critical or judgmental toward other people that he was involved with because of the great grace that God had in his life,
Right.
and the things that he did, and God was able to forgive him. That way Paul could be very forgiving because of what God had done in his life.
Definitely.
And so that means he wasn't haughty or didn't have a lot of problem with pride after what God had done in his life and forgiving him for things that he did to the church.
Definitely.
And Paul was completely committed.
He was.
To the end.
Yeah.
And he knew the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Who is someone that you look up to who has helped you develop your leadership skills, and what qualities do you admire in them?
Oh, mercy. I mean, Dr. Edwin Lewis Cole,
Okay.
who had a ministry called Christian Men's Network. And the thing I learned about Dr. Cole, first, never quit. Secondly, don't be afraid to fail, which you've heard me say already this evening.
Yeah.
And third was just his example is that he was Ed Cole in the pulpit like he was Ed Cole sitting in his house in his living room.
Yeah.
He was real.
Yeah.
And he just taught me that to be a man is to be Christ-like. And that was the example.
Awesome.
And he demonstrated it in his own life. He was a wonderful mentor in my life. I'll never forget.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We are almost right at 5 minutes, so thank you, Alan.